Welcome back to Rated Radio with your hosts Rayburn Alexander and Shane Wyndham. Rayburn, what's been going on in your world?
I signed for a severance package, so that's always nice, and applied for unemployment.
Free money.
Free money. It's money well deserved, let me tell you. I'm also getting numerous amounts of texts from my previous employers saying how stressed out they are that now they have to take on my work tasks. So, it's what you get.
Yeah.
So, other than that, my dad's trying to talk me into going on a trip to Arkansas to go mine for diamonds.
To mine for diamonds in Arkansas.
For diamonds. The funny thing is I'm not completely turned off by the adventure. Now that we're both unemployed, why the hell not? So, anything going on with you?
No, I'll take another cabin trip. I don't know if I'll go mining for diamonds, but
if he hears that, you know it's going to have to happen.
I know.
Okay.
I have just been listening to WAP and filing claims. Watched a lot of Good Mythical Morning videos this week. Wound up feeling real bad for the hosts because they've got no access to things like Whataburger or Taco Bueno. So when they're doing their taste test,
oh, you say that.
Consistently thinking you're always missing out on the best.
No. Sir.
No.
I have been a mythical beast for years now.
And?
They don't like Whataburger. They've tasted it. They said Whataburger is highly overrated. Now, I'm a little disappointed because they're from one of the Carolinas and they should know damn well better, but they prefer In-N-Out when compared to Whataburger.
Gross.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
I'm glad that you're a mythical beast now. Welcome to the club.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I'm going to still call you.
I'm interested in watching some of the taste test and stuff. I really dislike the pandering, the fun, over the top.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's your flavor, your style.
No. I have a favorite member of Good Mythical Morning just because
Link?
Rhett is my favorite.
Okay. I was just going off of names. You're the Zelda.
No. But, I mean, yeah, I do like his name, but Rhett is my favorite. Mine and Blue's favorite. He's on a whole nother level for us. So he doesn't have to try as hard to be funny.
Some of that shit reminds me of, you know, how they have to have the different serving things every time and they have to come up with different catchphrases.
Yeah.
It reminds me of being in an office place where everyone's trying to do all this serious work. And then there's always those handful of people that don't have anything better to do than let's throw a party. Let's decorate the walls. Mm-hmm. Why aren't you part of the team right now? I'm the one doing the fucking work right now.
So me?
Jump off a fucking cliff. I also found out there's a Borat 2 coming out this year.
Yes.
Later this month, actually. Mm-hmm. Very excited about that.
I'm sure you are.
I meant to ask before the episode was over last week, did not get a chance. Why could you not change your ratings after the first listen? You said that...
Because I wouldn't have felt honest. I would have been changing my results to fit my personal opinion rather than taking into consideration the albums as a whole.
Oh, so you were thinking about going back and changing things to influence a winner? Is that what was going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had thought about it, but...
I thought you changed the way you were rating things to begin with.
No, the thing is I stuck to our rating system, and that's how the cards fell.
I also thought that maybe your dad said, listen to it the first time, don't change what you think about
No,
it
he didn't say
that. But that doesn't sound like Eric.
The only person that... I could have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for that stinking Blue. And I was a shitty individual. I decided not to change it because it wouldn't have been honest, but Blue so lovingly reminded me, you can't change your ratings to fit your opinion, Rayburn. But he also was voting for Rush. So.
Now, this is a public podcast. I don't want to give anyone the wrong impression about people that we talk about in our lives.
Yeah.
So please clarify, does Blue or does Blue not stink?
This past week, he really did.
Like smelly stinks?
Like smelly stinks.
I think you're digging this deep. Was he working really hard?
No, he had the gas from hell, to be truthfully honest.
Boy, you never know what you're going to get when you ask a question.
I was stuck in a car with him at the drive-in watching Hocus Pocus last night with an almost 8-year-old, and I'm pretty sure he almost killed us.
Was it a farting competition in the car?
With himself,
You're trying to watch Hocus Pocus. Anyway, enough about us. Roll the intro.
Shane. You picked the top 10 songs.
I did.
And what was that list that you have chosen?
Songs that people have dedicated to you.
For the record, yeah, apparently that's a thing. People dedicate songs to people. It's news to me. Because I had a hard time this week.
You've got no list? Is that what?
No, I have a list. I was able to scrape the bottom of the barrel for a list.
I don't look at it as like this sweeping, grand, like somebody proposing to you or something, you know? If somebody mentions thinking about me in passing with regard to a song, I'm going to take it to heart and I'm going to remember it as a dedication.
Still, apparently, I'm extremely uninspiring, so...
I thought maybe you would have more than I did. I spend so much time making mixes and stuff for people that I think...
So do I.
Some people are intimidated, like they don't even want to say, like, oh, he already knows.
Apparently my friends don't reciprocate the feelings because I make mixes for tons of people. I have a mix for everything. Every trip we go on, I put together a mix, but it's just not a lot of, there's songs that remind them of me, but not ones that they come out and say, oh, hey, this song reminds me of you. I think you, my dad, and maybe Blue and another friend, which I don't know if they want to be named.
Another friend.
Oh,
mystery secrets.
Mystery. I have friends. House. Who knew?
This is I'm going to guess a he that does not stink.
It's a she that might stink.
Oh, my God. It's a she.
It's a she.
All right.
So
Respect.
Yeah.
So what did you come up with your lack of dedications in your world?
Okay, for the record, I just want to clarify. Are we saying who dedicated these songs to us?
You say whatever you want.
Okay. All right. I don't think anybody...
I have spoiled the entirety of my list on social media.
I know. I saw that. And do you need a little bit more time with the length of this list?
No.
Okay. Just making
It's
sure.
a double for me.
Okay,
It's not unheard of.
Yeah, mine's not a double. All right. My first song that has been dedicated to me is Butterfly Kisses by Bob Carlyle. This was sung to me consistently when my grandmother, who we called Cobra, was around. I originally thought it was sung by Michael Bolton, which is not completely out of her repertoire. But no, Bob Carlyle. Butterfly Kisses. It's always reminds me of her, and she always used to sing it to me in the long car rides to Austin, where we would go and visit my great-grandfather. So that's my first choice. What's yours?
Mine is Goodbye Stranger by Supertramp. My mom's fond of saying I was the oldest baby ever. Apparently, I enjoyed doing everything on my own and was more interested in talking to adults than kids. She maintains this song makes her think of toddler me and this time in her life. A song I think of when it comes to her and those very first memories of my life is Carly Simon's Coming Around Again. Her radio stations must have been wild about this song because it's ingrained in my brain like a lullaby. Your next pick?
My next pick is Sweet Child of Mine. Speaking of parents, this is the song that my dad used to sing to me when I was in my crib. It always makes me think of him, obviously, and hopefully sometime in possibly the near future, I will get to dance with him to this at my wedding.
Getting married?
No.
Oh. See, I think you're breaking news on the podcast.
I would make a much you know me. I would make a much grander
the
mention.
high level of excitement you got out of me at that potential, right? I can see why.
Getting married? Thanks. Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses reminds me of my dad and apparently reminds my dad of me. What's your next pick?
It's a good one. Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx. As may be obvious by now, I was a two-home kid through my teens. When I wasn't at Mom and Grandma's place, I was living with my Aunt Sandra, Corey's mom. Music bonded us from a pretty early age. I remember my friend Jason and I used to go over to her apartment to listen to records in those younger days. And when she moved to Idaho, she made it a point to tell me that this song would keep me knowing she wasn't going away forever. Another song from the time that still makes me think of Sandra is Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl, because I remember happily listening to it over and over in my headphones when our bus to Idaho met up with her after Mom decided we should make the move up there too. What's your next pick?
My next pick comes from a college friend, Clintitis, as I so lovingly call him.
I know a Clint.
You know a Clint?
Not the same guy. I know a Big Dick Clint.
I couldn't tell you about my college friend Clint.
Hung.
We used to take a bowling class together in college. That was our form of exercise.
He had to step carefully.
Yeah, he used to trip over
Swinging.
himself. Yeah. He dedicated the song Cold Hard Bitch by Jet because apparently that's what mindset I was in every time I played bowling. I played a game of bowling. So don't challenge me.
Took it seriously.
Apparently. So don't challenge me in a game unless you can bring your best.
I'll take that.
All right. Are we going bowling now?
If you ever want to go.
Oh, yeah. I'm totally down for it. I haven't been bowling in forever.
I did work at a bowling alley, you know.
Yeah, but who's to say you were actually good at it?
Me.
Okay. What's your next pick?
Next pick is Follow Your Fire by Codaline. I recently heard through the grapevine that my first love, Callie, wanted me to know she thinks of me when she hears this song. I'd want her to know I now listen to this a lot because it's a nice reminder of the only time I ever tried loving someone with my entire heart. So much spit in my mouth. This song captures the best of those emotions, which I'm still convinced we both felt in equal amounts, and it's an odd thing to still recall so vividly almost 2 decades later. In an effort to return the distant favor, I'd tell her that The Weeknd's Scared to Live is another recent one that makes me think of her. It's impossible to know if timing was our only real enemy anymore, and these days, I only hope she finds something in life that rivals the happiness her heart felt at 17.
I'm beginning to think that the whole reason for the podcast is a way for us to somewhat talk to people that we don't normally talk to in our day-to-day life.
Well, I don't talk to people, period.
I know.
So.
I know. You barely talk to me throughout the week, and I'm your co-host. So
yeah.
Anyway.
You've always been much more...
Hey, what's up, guy?
No, I think we're both equally social, but you seek it out.
What are you saying? I seek out the attention from other
people. I'm saying... You will make much more of an effort, whereas
remember that
if I'm around,
you're more reserved than I am when it comes to inviting conversation from people. I wouldn't even say that. You love conversating with people. Damn it, I did it again. You love conversating with people, but yeah, no, I get it. I will actively just be like, "Hey guys, let's talk about that," sort of thing.
If I've got downtime, I'm gonna catch up on something, or I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, that keeps people forgetting that I can be social and I can be fun.
Which you made you made an observance. I don't know if that's the right word. Last week.
Observation?
Yep. You made an...
I'm just going to start helping you out.
Thank you. I promise I'm an intellectual person, right?
Yeah, you just small town schooling.
Thanks a lot.
No, I think you've got a lot of smarts, a lot of know-how, a lot of understanding of how life works. And
I'm from the sticks. Not a lot of people know how to talk down there.
That's right.
All right.
And I don't sit here and correct you constantly. There's plenty of things you say that I don't jump on.
I know.
Though I could.
Plenty of things.
And the grammar Nazi in my head is like, get her.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you loving me so much to take mercy on me.
I am a merciful God.
Yes, you are. A merciful grammar God. My next pick is Will You Be There by Michael Jackson. This was dedicated to me by my mom because for those of you that may not know, I used to stand in front of the TV.
Just a Free Willy song.
Watching Free Willy in an oversized nightgown, singing this song and telling Willie, "Go, Willie, go." So, and still the only toy that I have from childhood is a stuffed orca whale that I so lovingly named Willie.
Original.
Yeah, thanks. It's also got a lovely burn mark on the stomach from where I put it on top of my lamp as decoration. I'm not
a stuffed toy. Are you sure you're an intellectual?
I was gonna say I'm not helping my case right now. But Will You Be There by Michael Jackson? Yes, it's from the Free Willy soundtrack, but it is most definitely worth a listen.
I like that song.
Yeah.
I get really confused because I hear that from the movie, but for some reason I always want to say it was Heal the World. It was in Free Willy, I think because the kids in the intro. Enough about that.
Okay. Enough about Free Willy.
Next pick is Rest in Pieces by Saliva. There were more than a few songs Jay left me with, but I went with this one because it doesn't portray anything but the painful reality of how much I hurt her. She laid in bed for a full day listening to this song after we broke up the first time. We were still living together, mind you. With my son now in the world and Jenny on the way, I can't genuinely regret things playing out the way they have, but regardless of what I did or didn't actually know about Jay, I'll always wish I'd been more prepared to meet the challenge she brought into my life. She spent a good portion of hers in foster care, and I can't imagine what that must have been like, what that would do to a person. I should have been more patient and more understanding. Unfortunately, I was not. I actually ran in the opposite direction for a while, but I'd want her to know that I still think of her when I hear Yellow Wolf's Tennessee Love. I really did want to marry this girl. I'll forever be sorry that I let her down, and loving her remains one of the highlights of my life. Unhappy ending be damned.
Just not really realizing that's the first time you said your daughter's name on the podcast.
It is.
Yay!
Yeah. She's on her way.
Yay! Can't wait. I've already said that I'm going to start calling her G. What up, G?
G.
A copyright by me. Nobody else in the family can take that.
Oh man, I just realized it's like GM, which reminds me of vehicles, and then GMW is way too close to
what, BMW?
BMW, yeah. Anyway, here come the hate messages about vehicle connotations. Now I already got my Harry Potter kicks. So.
Oh yeah, Blue would love it with her initials being GM. Just saying, yeah. He's a Chevy guy. Anyway, I talk about him entirely too much. I'm so glad that he's like, I don't care what you say about me on the podcast, although he might care after I decided to talk about his bowels.
I think it's interesting. I really do. It's wild because most everyone I know went through lots of different relationships before landing on one that stuck. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like mine was kind of ripped away, you know?
Yeah.
That first love experience was kind of ripped away from me. So it's interesting to see this dynamic that I'm not familiar with at all.
We're like zoo animals.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to say it has not been easy. And luckily we are the people that we are, and we got to kind of grow and continue to become better versions of ourselves. And we both brought out the best in each other. So it still blows my mind. I never thought that this would be the situation 14 years later. I'm still with my first love and will probably, hopefully, forever be. So yeah, I feel like it's surreal in a way.
I kind of broke into your story. Where were we going here?
My next pick is from the trolliest of all troll kids, my nephew Nolan.
That's a trolly kid.
Whose birthday is coming up.
He's a cool kid.
He is. I decided to ask other people, his mother and his older brother, what they would like to dedicate to me, or they had dedicated to me, or whatever. And he decided to throw his hat in the ring without being asked. And his dedication to me is The Get Up by Blanco Brown.
All right.
Which is exactly the reason why I love him, because he could have said anything that I had sung to him, I had listened to, and this is what he chose.
And that's the kind of person to be, by the way. Throw your hat in the ring, even if you weren't asked, and make sure it's trolly as fuck and something that's going to be memorable.
Yes, and I almost didn't put it on here, but I thought, why the hell not? He decided to put himself out there, so why not? I appreciate a good troll. Mm-hmm. What's your next pick?
My final for the first half is Blue Eyes by the Carey Brothers. Amy once told me this song sounded like something I would write. She said the same thing about a handful of other great tunes. Alabama's You've Got the Touch stands out for me as well. But I think about that a lot when I get down. The woman warmed to one of the biggest broken idiots on the planet and consistently made me seem so much more lovable than I felt. And while our relationship was probably always doomed, she was bound for New York, and I don't know if she ever intended to ask me along, but I still blame myself for it ending. Youthful immaturity at its finest, folks. But my God, what an amazing human being to have had the chance to love. And ignoring all the songs with her name in the title, word of advice, guys, never love and lose an Amy. Dashboard Confessional's acoustic version of Even Now is one that may as well have her name written all over it.
I love the way that you still have so much love and appreciation for the women that have bounced in and out of your life, whether it be their I don't want to say fault for it ending or yours, there's no regret or remorse for the relationship that you've had with these women. And it's just really, really refreshing to meet someone and hear their stories about how they still have so much love for these women that I'm sure have hurt you.
Yeah.
Just as much as you've hurt them.
Maybe not just as much, but
you've both been hurt.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Everyone brings different things to the table. My stomach turns when I see a lot of these self-care memes that are all over the place. Mm-hmm. You know, when you think about your ex, you throw up in your mouth a little like this sort of.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason that I spent so much time with somebody, and there are a million reasons why a relationship could end. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean all that time was wasted. Mm-hmm. And I never want to think about it like that. And just for the people out there who would call me narcissistic, because that was a big thing that was going around for a while. Anyone who wants to be friends with their exes is a narcissist. No, I feel this way about everybody that's been in my life.
Yeah.
I try to look at the best. I tend to underplay the worst, and I think people think I'm joking. Anyway, I don't know.
Well, I also know from experience and being around, you've been friends with couples and they've not worked out, and you refuse to pick sides regardless of who you knew first or whatever.
Yeah.
It's something that, people need to get out of their head all this petty middle school bullshit. I don't keep in touch with my exes, all two of them, just because, it's not something that they or I have wanted to keep. But I wouldn't be opposed to it if people can be civil and be respectful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'd also add that you're not there are people who in my life who have cut me out because they want their relationship to work, and maybe I'm influencing it negatively, whether it's you're venting about your partner and I agree with you because I want you to feel heard and understood, and that seems negative over time, or because the partner is uncomfortable with those sorts of friendships. I get all that. Mm-hmm. And I try not to knock anyone for making the decisions they make to make their life work. All I'm doing here is telling you how I feel.
It's got to be a personal choice, but it's something that you as an individual need to make based off of who you decide to let in and out of your life. You have to figure out if this relationship with an ex is going to be worth potentially sacrificing a relationship in the future, or if it's something that if you care about that person enough to let them to continue being in your life, it's going to be your choice.
Yeah, could be a quick value judgment too.
Yeah.
Somebody might make you feel really great. You might really enjoy spending time around someone, but if you're spending time around them costs you tons of other people in your life who also make you feel great. Yeah, I get why you cut. Yeah.
There's a reason why I don't really speak to one of my exes, and he disrespected Blue, which it's not necessarily something that, that justifies cutting him out of my life forever, but it did at the time. And had I not sacrificed that relationship, I would have disrespected Blue myself.
Right.
So it's just something that I made a decision for at least a while to not have any relationship with him. Although he didn't seek out a relationship, so it wasn't like it was wanted.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, sorry, we went off on a tangent on that one.
It's all good.
I just wanted to tell you, I appreciate the love that you still have for these women in and not in your life.
Well, thanks. Hopefully it's not too off-putting to some of the listeners out there.
Who the hell would it be off-putting to?
I don't know. Like I said, everybody comes from a different perspective and has their own thoughts on these things.
Yeah.
Everybody builds a mindset to protect feeling the best they can about themselves to get through life.
Yeah.
I'm not here to knock that. Just please don't knock me in return. I am big-hearted, regardless of what you think.
And words hurt.
Not so much anymore, but what's that Martin meme? Picture of him standing on stage. It's just like, it doesn't even affect me anymore. I just be like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you told me that earlier this week about being like, nah, you're like, don't even worry about comments people say, and people are just feel like being stupid to be stupid.
Well, I've read book reviews for over a decade now too, and you can't take everything seriously. There is such a thing as constructive criticism, You want to make sure you're finding the nuggets in there and shifting what's not working. But there's plenty of stuff that people tell you that it's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
One of my favorite things ever is when you like to troll the person that left the non-constructive comment.
Oh, yeah.
About our work.
The vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, okay. I wasn't going to say it, but yeah. I died. I was like, oh my God, my cousin is like the biggest troll ever. Just because you put that vacuum cleaner noise to his comment.
But I put in the work.
Yeah. You did.
See, I had to put myself in that headspace. Should I take this seriously or not? Someone said they'd rather listen to a vacuum cleaner than Chris Stapleton. Isn't that what it was?
And I should have been way more triggered by it because you know how I felt about Chris Stapleton.
I wasn't even triggered. I just thought, how am I supposed to take this seriously? I turned on a vacuum cleaner just to know.
For scientific research purposes.
Yeah, no matter what artist I'm coming up against, I tried to think, okay, for me, what if it's Lil Pump playing in the background? Would I rather hear the vacuum cleaner? The answer was still, not a fucking chance in hell. Who wants to listen to a vacuum cleaner?
So what did the vacuum cleaner get in your rating?
I gave it a 1.
Okay. It still got a 1.
Yeah, it was painful. That's what my 1 means. Painful or pointless.
Got it.
We are way out in left field here.
Let's get to the first artist.
Who's that?
The Bizkit.
The Bizkit?
Limp Bizkit.
All right.
I always have a tendency to do that. Like you ask me what the artist is and I either do some sort of weird voice or I say like their nickname or something stupid. Anyway.
I thought the way your dad said Limp Bizkit after drawing it last week was pretty strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to the intro on one of these CDs and they say it and it sounds almost the same as the way he said it. It's the intro to Gold Cobra. Just in case we get there someday.
Maybe he's a closeted Bizkit fan and we didn't know it.
We're going to record a 3-hour show today. What was the first album we covered?
First album we covered was $3 Bill Y'all from 1997. This was my bottom album. I gave it 0 5s. My top track was Stuck, and my bottom track was Intro.
Little triggered over here.
Don't at me.
I'm not. That's your opinion. I'm good with it.
Okay.
This was my middle pick. I gave it 8 5s. My top track was Leech. My bottom track was Everything.
We have established this is the type of music that was made for you.
Yes.
At the time. Not to say that I don't like Limp Bizkit, because I do. They got a higher rating than I thought, like overall average than I thought. But this was you remember this sort of stuff.
Yeah, this is not, I wouldn't say it's about time though. It's about sound, and I enjoy the sound.
Okay. In
a lot of places. It wasn't perfect, clearly. There were 13 tracks on here, so 5 of them missed out on my highest ranks. But it did really well. In most places, it was 4s. Anyway, what's the next album?
Significant Other from 1999. This fell in the middle for me. It got 5 5s. Top track, A Lesson Learned. Bottom track, Rant.
All right, well, this was my top pick. I gave it 11 5s. My top track was Trust. Bottom track was Outro.
That which was right before Rant.
Yeah, that is correct.
Got it. See, I listened. I don't just make up this stuff on the fly.
I feel you. Next album.
Do I say the entire?
Yeah, I want to hear the whole title.
I only wrote down, is it Chocolate Starfish and Hot Dog Flavored Water?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's because I only wrote down Chocolate Starfish.
And the Hot Dog Flavored Water.
And the Hot Dog Flavored Water. Okay, so Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water from 2000. This was my runner-up. I gave it 4 5s. Top track was Hold On. Bottom track was Outro.
Yep. Also my runner-up. I gave it 8 5s. Top track was Full Nelson. And my bottom track was the outro's Hidden Track. Can't think of what it's called. I don't even think it has a name. Just Hidden Track. Next album.
Results May Vary from 2003.
You're going there. I know you're going there. Go ahead.
This was my top album. I gave it 8 5s. Top track was Build a Bridge. Bottom track, All That Easy. I feel like I'm constantly being judged. Okay.
No, it's not judgment. And I know a lot of people who would actually agree with you if it makes you feel better.
I know that out of these albums, Results May Vary made, well, not including Gold Cobra, Results May Vary made the least amount of money. Or, yeah, sold the least amount of albums.
I wonder why.
It was still high.
This was my bottom pick.
Okay.
I gave it 3 5s.
Okay.
That's less than half of what you gave it.
Mm-hmm.
My top track was Almost Over, and my bottom track was Re-Entry.
Which is the first track.
I think it's the intro. Yeah.
Next album, we're not going to dwell on the fact that this was my top and this was your bottom. Next album was Gold Cobra from 2011. This was second to last for me.
Same.
I gave it 1-5. Top track was Loser. Bottom track was Shotgun.
Whoa. Okay, so this was next to last for me.
Mm-hmm.
That having been said, I'd only heard this album one time before this, and it was in the car. I don't recommend ever listening to an album for the first time if you're driving on the highway with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember having good feelings about it. Turns out, I really liked this album. I gave it 5 5s. My top track was Get a Life, although the title track, it's up there for me too. My bottom track was Introbra, which is the intro.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to move on to the questionnaire portion?
We certainly can.
Okay. I'm going to start off by asking, what was their weirdest track?
Everything. That's I think the last song on the first album. It's 16 minutes of meandering.
Mm-hmm. Mine was Rant, which was done by Matt Pinefeld. You already had the outro right before it. You really, really didn't need this rant about how Matt needed new music. Most
of their albums, the very end, they start doing some really weird shit. So if you're into the very artful or strange, I don't know that
Tool
I would
fans
call it artful.
Talking to
you. To an extent, some of it, in places, like a hooker with a penis, and some of but not my bag. I was also very confused that they listed hidden tracks, like in the middle of the album sometimes, or right before the end, not the actual last track. There was some strange stuff going on here.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the track listing for, I guess it was Chocolate Starfish. No, it wasn't Chocolate Starfish. It was, trying to see what Rant was on. It was on Significant Other. And made sure that wasn't like a bonus track at the end of the outro, because that makes sense to me. I mean, you know, why would you make a rant a track and not just throw it into the outro when you already had the outro happen?
Yeah.
Or either that or make the outro happen after the rant. That just made sense to me. But no, it's its own track. So anyway, what was your best title?
Gold Cobra. I think that just encapsulates their sound. You?
Stinkfinger. I read it and I could not stop giggling like a 12-year-old boy.
That was almost my top track on that first album.
Dang.
I like that. I like that song.
I even wrote like a little emoji with its tongue sticking. Told you I'm a child. What is your worst title?
It's The One, and I would have called it Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Reject.
Wow.
You know, a song that wasn't good enough to make it onto the soundtrack for the THPS games. Yeah.
Wow, you talk like you play games or something.
I don't play games. I don't know where you get this.
I don't know. It must be the amiibos that I'm looking at, or...
I've played a lot of video games.
You've played a lot of video games.
Although I have fallen off of that bandwagon pretty significantly after riding the Destiny train for 6 years.
You play video games, board games, love games, mind games.
All of it.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm a gamer.
Yeah, we know. You're a gamer. You play hard.
I don't even have to win either.
You're in it for playing the game.
Yeah.
You're the best type of sportsman.
I might even troll you while we're gaming just because.
Yeah, just because.
That person who's losing at Monopoly or Risk, so they start just showing favoritism to another player. That's me.
That's Blue too.
I know.
That's why I won't play.
Why do you think gaming is so interesting around this house when people are around?
That's why I won't play Risk or Monopoly with anybody. I won't do it. I refuse. Settlers of Catan. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I am playing Risk. Last time we played Risk, Blue held up in Afghanistan. He was that dude. He would be the dude that would buy all the tigers and hold up in Afghanistan just to spite people. He's not going to win, but he's going to do everything he possibly can to ruin your good time.
He's got the one island country that's got like 40.
Yes. That's exactly how it played out last time. Anyway, my worst title was Everything. What I would have used instead, are you ready to feel attacked? Lacking inspiration.
Oh, I thought that was... Never mind. You were asking me if I was ready to feel attacked.
Yeah. Did you think that I named it Are You Ready to Feel Attacked?
I don't feel attacked. That was my bottom track.
Oh, I thought it was your top. Okay.
It was also my weirdest track for 16 plus minutes of meandering.
Okay. Well, I said lacking inspiration, so I guess we meet on the same plane there.
It's like they all got too high in a room and hit record, and we got whatever it was.
Knowing Fred Durst, that's very possible that happened. Anyway, what is your strongest element for Limp Bizkit?
They're recognizable, and they usually gel really well. Mm-hmm. So their sound isn't as unique as something like Korn, but man, it's a good sound, and you know it when you hear it.
Mm-hmm. I said their progression of evolving and refinement of their sound as they move along in their discography.
What I loved about Gold Cobra is it went back to the roots of $3 Bill or Significant Other.
Which Gold Cobra was it wasn't your runner-up, you're in the middle?
It was next to last.
Oh, next to last.
Yeah, apart from Results May Vary, I really like Bizkit's discography.
Yeah, because we missed out on a couple of albums in between.
Just an EP.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. What would you say their weakest element is?
Keeping of the uninspired sounding stuff. Like those weaker tracks, they're B-sides. If you want to release a B-side album somewhere for the true fans, cool. Don't waste my time with that crap.
So do you think that they're not using their albums to release songs that are at their full potential? You want more quality tracks?
I like the quality. I think most of the time they bring the pain. They'll just keep 4 or 5 songs on the album that you could have cut, and it would have been a better, more consistent experience. I mean, like, Results May Vary has 18 tracks. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say.
I said that their weakest element was raw, rough sound in earlier albums and sometimes vocals.
And I love that.
I know you do. And you know what's funny is I figured it was going to work out this way. Like, you were going to like the earlier stuff. I was going to like their stuff a little later because it always seems to go that way. I remember Alicia Keys was like that.
Yeah.
Same with Sia. I don't know what it is, but...
And I like Alicia Keys' early work. Just like I like Korn's early work, and the sound it's older. Mm-hmm. This is aging better than early Korn.
Yeah. Which they haven't, Gold Cobra was their last album. They haven't made an album since then.
Yeah, I want to say I saw something about them going into studio to start work on a new album.
Yes.
Okay.
I watched an interview with Fred Durst. He gave away the name, but he has a tendency to change his names throughout the production because he says that you can name an album all you want before you start recording it. That doesn't necessarily mean where the album's going to end up. And sometimes you have to change the name just because it feels better. Mm-hmm. So I can't remember the name, but yes, they're in the process of making a new album.
Did you see more of Fred Durst this week than you expected to? Like more of Fred Durst than you expected to?
Was I supposed to look for more?
I was just curious. I didn't know. Moving on.
Who do you think? I got distracted by apparently parts of Fred Durst that I was supposed to look into.
No, not supposed to. I just didn't know if you happened to cross it or knew. And if you don't, we're not going there.
Didn't cross it.
Continue.
Who do you think Limp Bizkit sounds like?
Punk meeting hip hop in the alternative plane. It's a really great sound, but no.
I'm surprised.
I've got no one. I could think of some copycat stuff that's come out since, but at the time, I'd never heard anything like that.
Well, I listed several.
Let's hear it.
I said Red Hot Chili Peppers, Crazy Town, Papa Roach, Mudvayne, Drowning Pool, and Linkin Park.
I missed the second half of what you said because I was still focused on
Papa Roach
use of Crazy Town right after Chili Peppers. And I think Crazy Town is only famous
for Butterfly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think samples Pepper's work.
Oh, really?
It's not original.
Okay.
This is coming off of memory from another podcast that I keep mentioning, and we will leave it alone.
Yeah, don't mention it again. They'll get mad at us.
I will later. Believe it or not, it's coming out of my mouth again today.
Mainly to me, if Chili Peppers, Korn, and Linkin Park had a baby, like the Linkin Park's rap album that they did with Jay-Z mainly, to me that kind of is Limp Bizkit-esque because Limp Bizkit had, I appreciated their work with Redman as...
Redman.
Have you ever seen Child of Chucky or whatever? Seed of Chucky.
I have, but I don't...
Jennifer Tilly calls Redman in the movie
Redman. Oh my God.
So Redman, Method Man, and DMX and Exhibit.
I also worked with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop. I left out Snoop. My bad. I didn't really like that track.
Red Light, Green Light. Man, that grew on me the more I listened to it.
I listened to it and I'm like, what the hell is happening? I did like the Method Man, Redman, and DMX track, although it wasn't just primarily because of DMX.
That was the Rollin'.
Oh yeah, the
Urban Assault Vehicle.
Air Raid. Yeah. Remix.
Yeah, I like the rock version better, the original, but they are killer in that song.
Yeah,
So I gave them both 5s, by the way.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
When would you listen to them, or how does the music make you feel?
Kind of the same thing. When you're so angry that you feel cool about it.
I said when I want to drive recklessly.
There you go. I'm pissed off and it makes me cool.
Yeah. When was your first or best experience with Limp Bizkit?
I was just about to say that last answer made me sound old as dirt. I too am getting dusty. And this will drive it home. My first experience was hearing Pollution on the school bus.
Who the hell was your school bus driver?
I don't know. Have I told that story? I got in trouble on the bus at one point. We always had boomboxes and headphones and stuff. They didn't care for the most part.
Uh-huh.
He let us listen to whatever we wanted to.
Yeah.
We pretty much did whatever we wanted to do. But there was I always sat in the back of the bus. And I was cool with the school bus driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a kid up front whose name was Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
And he stood up and started hollering something at us at one point.
Yeah.
And I just screamed, "Sit down, Mitch," or "Shut up, Mitch," or something.
You think you said bitch?
Yeah. And not only he didn't tell me, he said nothing to me, but he showed up at my house that weekend.
Oh, I heard this.
Yeah.
I heard the school bus driver. I
and
didn't know
Grandma
why,
answered
though.
the door. And
He came on his personal time.
"Shane Allen, did you call your bus driver a bitch?" Well, fuck no.
Well, it's funny that he thought you said something to him, considering that he was already sitting when it was said.
He was cool.
Yeah.
But that dropped some of the cool points for him.
You were like, dang, dude.
Yeah,
You gonna rat me out like that?
I think there was a while after that where we couldn't actually listen to music on the bus.
Wow, he was really triggered by you calling him a bitch. Allegedly.
I told him. I went straight to the door, Like, I wasn't just talking to my grandmother. I went straight to the door like, "Man, I think I know what you're talking about." I was yelling at Mitch, that idiot that sits up by you that lives right down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was yelling at him.
What did he
Mitch,
say?
not bitch. Why would I ever call you a bitch? Well, that's not what I heard.
Nice.
Sorry. What are we talking about?
I said my first or best experience with Limp Bizkit is hearing them growing up. They were always around on the radio, in movies. Some cousins might have been listening to it at the time.
Nah.
But I can't pinpoint an exact moment that I was like, oh. Maybe the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Well, you also have to keep in mind, these were MTV days, the top 10 music videos and still doing all that stuff. And they made regular appearances on some of those MTV shows alongside NSYNC and
Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, they all played to different drummers, in the music industry.
Also,
we all rode that wave.
I have to say, these guys are from Jacksonville, Florida. They make it very apparent to say it.
So your mama.
So my mama, who said that she wasn't a fan of Limp Bizkit because she went and listened to both artists this week. Mom, they're from Jacksonville. You're hating on your own people.
Jacksonville's on the map.
Jacksonville's on the map. Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. Anyway, I said hearing them growing up, but one that I specifically remember, like, thinking about how well the song fit was in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift when they're racing in that unfinished housing complex.
I'm not familiar with most of those films, and anytime someone says Tokyo Drift, all that goes through my head is the Teriyaki Boys song. Yes.
They made that for the movie. You know that. Okay.
And isn't that the film? Isn't that the one that's got
Lucas Black?
The kid from Sling Blade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my boy.
Which they're coming out with a new Fast and Furious.
I love you, boy.
And Lucas Black is coming back, for those of you that didn't see him for a little bit in the trailer. So I like the Fast and Furious movies. I'm also with a car guy, and we know that I cried when Paul Walker died. So anyway, For those of you that actually listen to the podcast religiously.
I'm playing Sling Blade in my head, not listening to you at all.
He's gazing off in the corner, and it's just like...
There's a projector between me and Rayburn right now in my line of sight. And I'm just watching Sling Blade.
Yeah. Anyway.
Morris.
Don't call me Morris. I'm on a hill. Anyway.
Sometimes, very late at night, you do get in those places.
Okay, in my defense, but do you know how many drunken nights we've spent with each other?
Yeah.
I cannot be held accountable for it to be 3:00 in the morning. We've had a bunch of drinks. Not only am I spitting nonsense, but you're talking someone's ear off about God knows what.
Mm-hmm.
So we both have our moments.
Oh yeah, I can talk.
Yeah. And apparently I can talk about just absolutely nothing. So
telling you, every time I see that Morris clip at the party in Sling Blade,
and everybody's sitting around.
Yes.
Nice. Hey, you know what? At least I'll say this. I can grab people's attention and I can keep it. Because did you see how much they were listening to him?
Dots look good on paper.
Yep. Anyway, getting back to the subject of Limp Bizkit, I would want them to collaborate with Busta Rhymes, and I would want them to cover his song Break Your Neck, but turn it into a remixed version.
It would kind of have to be a remix version, right?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Who would you want Limp Bizkit to collaborate with?
I said Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
Because he wants her to come and get some.
Okay.
And the song I imagine them covering is In Vogue's My Lovin'.
Wow.
Because you're never going to get it.
You with the jokes and the punchlines, and are you just that clever?
No, I'm not clever.
Okay.
I'm just an idiot.
Yeah. That much I can agree with.
But I'm not Morris. I feel like I have soured your mood today.
No.
It's just jokes. I didn't say you were the lead singer from whatever that.
I love that you always feel the need to kind of rip on me and then boost my mood. Like, I don't really mean it. I know you don't mean it.
You just seemed down.
No.
I don't know.
No, I don't mind I'm the first person that'll make myself a joke. It's a defense mechanism, but no, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I don't mind being Morris. It's a little jab that only you have for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I'm the only person who's ever said it, to the best of my knowledge.
Which, speaking of jabs, when I was asking for dedications, I asked for one from my brother. And he said, "Never Say Never" by Romeo Boy. And I politely told him to go fuck himself. So it didn't make the list.
With it. You should have told him, we've already covered that song.
I did. But then I said, you can go fuck yourself.
Can you come up with another one?
He did. I think he didn't make my list, though. Because he was late to the party.
Harsh. Okay, he was just late.
He was late. He was working in Houston this week. He said Grease by Frankie Valli from the Grease soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on to Limp Bizkit. God, we've gotten on some tangents. What?
My Eyes Adored You. Yeah. That's the best Frankie Valli song. I'm on the record. I've spoiled future shows.
Who's covering Frankie Valli? Are you saying
nobody? You just mentioned Frankie Valli, so I mentioned some Frankie Valli.
You're spoiling if we ever get Frankie Valli.
This is correct.
Got it. What makes Limp Bizkit seem unique?
Their stylistic versatility.
I said ways that they integrate rap and rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would Limp Bizkit be most successful in the future?
I think they should avoid the low energy tracks. I think Behind Blue Eyes is good.
Which originally done by The Who.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Most of the rest of it,
Okay. Could not disagree more. I said continue to evolve their sound and possibly do slower albums. I appreciated the results may vary pace. We've established Shane did not appreciate it. But I liked where they focused not so much on I appreciated the in-your-faceness of it, like with My Way and Rollin'. But results may vary made me realize that they can do other sounds, and they're really good at doing those sounds too. I wonder sometimes if I were to hand you a rap album, make you listen to it, and then a week later give you a chopped and screwed version of the album and make you listen to it, if you would just always feel better about the chopped and screwed album. Why? Because they slowed it down, it's slower. Do I have like a preference? Do I usually pick slower albums?
Well, I do too, clearly.
Okay.
I like the heavy, angry stuff.
Well,
I think hard hitting is what you say a lot that we could probably agree on.
Mm-hmm.
But you like it slow, and
I like it nice and slow.
I like it angry as fuck.
If it don't scare you, you ain't doing it right.
I'm not talking about sex right now.
Who would you recommend this artist to, and why?
People who need reminded that our generation's music used to be thought of as shitty too.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I said anyone wanting to take a trip back in time, because this takes you.
See, I'm not the only one with jabs, because you sound young as hell.
Yeah.
It's just in some of the music we're going to be pulling that. What is it? It's not even a decade. It's like
between me and you?
7, 8 years. What is it?
How old are you? You're 30.
I was born in 84.
Okay, 7.
I am 36 years old.
I turned 30 next year. I just turned 29. So there's 7. 7 years between us.
And that's a long time when we're talking about adolescence and teenage year type music. So it's understandable. Did you already answer this question? And I just got so turned around. See? The age difference. I'm suffering the memory loss.
I know. It's okay. I will take...
That's right. A time machine.
I will take care of your... God, I hate when I get like this. Now
I love it. I'm just going to throw it out there because it makes me feel like I'm not alone. There are so many times in life where I'm halfway through a sentence and just blank.
I'm trying to think of a word. What's that word where you forget when you get old?
Alzheimer's?
Yeah. I'll take care of your Alzheimer's ass if we want to continue to do the podcast.
Please don't volunteer to be the person who wipes my ass when I can't remember what's happening anymore.
If that's the case, I should be wiping your ass now.
Put me in a boat. Throw me in the ocean. You know what I mean?
I'm going to leave that job for your son and daughter. They'll do that. They'll be old enough, right?
To throw me in the ocean?
Yes. I'll just be standing behind them going, "You're doing great, honey. I'm so proud of you."
Do you have any optional discussion topics with regard to Limp Bizkit?
No, I do not. Do you?
Yeah, I got some stuff.
Okay.
So they did some covers. At Faith by George Michael.
Yes.
Behind Blue Eyes, we already talked about, by The Who.
Mm-hmm.
Living It Up samples Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles.
I do have something I want to say.
Yeah.
Take a Look Around. The intro reminds me of Friction by Imagine Dragons.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Take a Look Around uses the main riff from Mission Impossible.
Maybe that's what it is.
And then to look at the notes, I wanted to mention that Wes Borland, he kind of looks like Blue.
Okay, now I'm going to have to...
Something to think about. And what's funny is in Guitar Hero,
yeah,
where we, I made the characters for most of the people who would come over and play. And Blue is actually Blue.
Yes.
His character is.
Mm-hmm.
And shirtless and all.
Yeah, with like these giant shoulder pieces.
Yeah, that's kind of what Borland looks like on stage a lot too. They don't look exactly alike by any stretch, but there are some definite similarities.
Okay. How can you even tell? He's got face paint on the majority of the time.
There's plenty of pictures where he does not have face paint on.
Okay.
So some obvious things. I counted Stereotype Me as the same track as Faith, because I never really considered those two songs separate. You can only hear Stereotype Me from the first album if you listen to the edited version of the Spotify album. Same with Boiler's hidden track. Spotify has some weird stuff going on with their albums. You have to go to the edited versions to hear the normal versions of songs. Mm-hmm. And then the explicit versions have remixes or cut the hidden tracks. Spotify's Get Your Groove On is a fucking joke on the unedited album.
Okay.
I'll throw the real version on our YouTube mentions playlist, but you have to go to the edited version of the album on Spotify to hear the original, which is 10 times better than what you're going to get. Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots was a guest vocalist on Hold On.
What's with their love of Ben Stiller? You catch any of that?
Yeah, I did.
You know anything about that? Because I couldn't find anything about it.
I think when you're making friends with celebrities and stuff...
You want to name drop?
And I think they got close, and I know that whole hidden track thing. Mm-hmm. Stiller was in the studio, and they were joking around about something, And Fred told him, get on the mic and try to roast us as hard as you can. Mm-hmm. And that's what that is. It's a recording of that.
He's in the intro to Rollin'. I found that out when I was watching their music videos.
Yep.
So him and somebody else, I want to say it was another actor, but for some odd reason I can't think of him.
I mean, he tells you straight up. That's his favorite motherfucker.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Stephen Jenkins from Third Eye Blind was also in Outro's hidden track with all the phone calls and stuff from the celebrities. Mm-hmm. I still couldn't give it more than a 1, though. Couldn't do it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Limp.
The Bizkit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the break. All right. Keep on rolling, partner. What do you have any song recommendations or anything you want to plug this week?
My song recommendation for the week is Hey Mario by Patent Pending, because some of y'all out there chasing a peach when there's already a Rosalina in your life. Get your shit together, bro. Plug, no plug this week, not even a butt plug.
What a shame.
You?
My song recommendation is going to be something that everyone knows, but by the time this comes out, a certain little nephew of mine will be turning 8 years old. And as a happy birthday to him, I wanted to recommend the song I used to sing to him as I held him in my arms to get him to sleep. Little did I know, those moments would be limited, so even though I may not be able to rock you to sleep anymore, you will be my one and only Rolly. Happy birthday, Nolan.
That was purposeful, right? You didn't just like glitch out.
No, it's a thing that when he was really, really little, he used to carry around a picture of me in a frame, and Samantha recorded him one day saying, you, my rah-rah. So
nice. Now
it's still a running thing where we both still say, you, my Nolan, you, my rah-rah.
Are you plugging?
All day, every day, boy. You know, I'm just kidding. No.
Wow.
I have nothing to plug.
So let's agree to plug Settlers of Catan then, since we've already talked about it.
I would agree to plug Settlers of Catan.
Yeah.
Many cabin trips spent playing this game.
I could take Monopoly and Risk and Ticket to Ride, and I could throw all that shit out the window forever and just play Settlers of Catan.
I would have thought Ticket to Ride would have been up there for you.
It's okay.
Okay.
I mean, you can kind of do that with the roads and Settlers. You know, it's a nice middle ground game.
So next cabin trip, we're bringing Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, it's got lots of expansions and stuff too. If you're triggered by the fact that I said I'd throw all those other games out of the window,
that doesn't mean he doesn't appreciate.
Yeah, I do like those games.
Has a special place for Settlers first.
Correct.
Man, wouldn't it be nice to get holed up somewhere in the mountains with people that we're related to that actually want to be on the podcast?
You said get holed up, and my head just hit the gutter, and then you said with family members.
Not your idea of a good time.
Try again. What were you saying?
Recording the podcast on a cabin trip could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. We'll have to fly to Idaho at some point too and do some shows up there with them crazy people, and you can actually see what mountain life is like. Because Colorado, I love Colorado, but I don't think it's going to give you the full experience.
Being around Sandra and Corey, and they'll give me the full mountain experience.
Yeah.
Nice. I haven't seen them since before they moved up there, and I was just a little girl, so definitely could make for an interesting time.
You were just a little girl?
I was just a little girl.
No, you weren't.
I was. Well, last time that I remember seeing them, maybe Corey came to visit once, and I was a little bit older. But I haven't seen Sandra in forever.
I don't even think they've been up there for a decade.
That doesn't mean that I haven't seen them in forever. They could have been living here, and I still hadn't seen them in forever.
This is true.
Anyway, that's going to do it for the break. Let's get back to our next artist.
Well, not let's get back, but let's get on to our next artist.
Let's get on to the next artist.
Oh, I totally thought you were just going to say fuck you.
I thought about it.
Anyway, next artist.
This episode is a shit show, let me tell you. Shane, who is our next artist that we covered?
Miss Anal herself.
You mean Elizabeth Woolridge Grant?
Yeah, Lizzie.
Yes.
Lizzie Grant.
Lana Del Rey is our next artist.
First album was?
Born to Die from 2012. This was my top album. Get it out of the way now. I gave it 8 5s. Top track was Radio. Bottom track was National Anthem. And that's not saying much because I still enjoyed National Anthem. You?
Well, I think I would be in agreement with you, but we don't cover the bonus tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So going off of the original running, this was my runner-up. Out of 12 tracks, I gave 11 5s. My top track was $1 Million Man, and my bottom deserved to be at the bottom for me. It's Carmen. I'm still
Carmen a 5.
I'm still not crazy about that song. Is what it is. I know a lot of people love it, but yeah, really, really great album. Really accessible album. If you're going to start somewhere, probably start right here.
Yeah. Next album that we covered was Paradise, also from 2012. These are the extra songs, I guess, that didn't make the Born to Die album, which was previously. So they released a shorter album labeled Paradise later in the year. This fell in the middle for me. I gave it 3 5s. My top track was Ride. My bottom track was Cola. Yes, it's got an interesting first line. I'll give it that. But after that, it's just okay.
What was your top track?
Ride.
Ride. Okay.
I love that song. It's got a long intro.
Yeah.
But it's well worth it because
it's
the music
cool.
video
I was just
great.
trying to move my head away from the lyrics. My pussy tastes like. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. So surprisingly, even though I really like this album, this fell at the bottom for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it didn't have all that many tracks. I gave it 7 5s out of the 8 again.
Wow.
Yeah. My top track was Gods and Monsters, and my bottom was Yayo. That song I still continue to not love.
Okay. Don't have to explain why. Next album covered was Honeymoon from 2015. This fell on the bottom for me. I gave it 2 5s. My top track was Music to Watch Boys To. My bottom track was Salvatore.
Man, you know, what's interesting about this is I expected more 5s out of you, and I expected some agreement. We'll see if any exists before it's said and done.
Okay.
This was next to last for me. I gave it 5 5s, so it's not like it was all bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. Top track was Salvatore. Bottom track was the Burnt Norton interlude. Not my style.
Okay. Let's move on before we make our comments.
Yep.
Next album is Lust for Life from 2017. This was second to last for me. I gave it 6 5s. My top track was Love. My bottom track was In My Feelings. You seem very offended right now.
Yeah, I'm a little triggered. That was in the running for my top track. This fell in the middle for me. I too gave it 6 5s. Top track wound up being Lust for Life.
And The Weeknd is featured on that song. This was what I called her collaboration album.
The second half for sure.
She did 2 songs with A$AP Rocky. She did a song with The Weeknd. She did a song with John Lennon and Yoko Ono's son and Stevie Nicks, which I didn't even know was a thing. Mm-hmm. So that's what I kept calling what's her collaboration album, her experimental album.
You were inexperienced in some of this.
I was.
I hadn't heard some of this before. Okay.
The only thing I knew from Lust for Life was Love, and then Lust for Life, which you showed me, and you showed me Love too. And Honeymoon, I was inexperienced in. We didn't cover Ultraviolence. I got to choose the Lana Del Rey albums, and I opted to skip that one. But going back and learning more about Lana, she collaborated with one of the Black Keys. And I love the Black Keys, so I might have to go back and give that one a listen as well.
You haven't heard it yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody in my life was was very confused right off the bat. No Ultraviolence? No. That's some of my favorites. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Do I know this person
I think you might know this
Okay.
person. My bottom track was White Mustang on the Lust for Life album.
I thought that was going to be your bottom.
It's not bad. It's just got a really repetitious chorus.
The White Mustang, White Mustang.
And I know someone with a white Mustang. And I hope there's no offense taken at that because it's got nothing to do with your spectacular car.
You've already pissed off the car lover masses with your GM comment earlier. Why not just piss them all off?
It is what it is. I'm going to give a few extra comments on this album.
Okay.
Because while I did say this fell in the middle for me, just thinking about the albums overall, this is the one with the lowest amount of consistency for me. It felt like that second half of the CD, I just couldn't get into it. It's not bad.
It's just not great.
I just would have taken a song or two. I can't even think of what the song titles are at this point. But there are two of them towards the end that I would have swapped out White Mustang with at the beginning. Just cut the whole second half of the album. Goodbye. I know that's where Stevie Nicks and everybody else appears for the most part. But
I gave the Stevie Nicks song, I didn't rate it a 5. I actually liked the Lennon version better. Like they say the Lennon version, the Lennon song better. I was very surprised at that because I knew you were going to come in and be like, all right, Rayburn, tell me about your boner for Stevie. Did you give it a 5?
I did not say that.
I couldn't give it a 5. I didn't. I love Lana and I love Stevie. It was just good for me. It wasn't spectacular. I feel like they could have done so much more with that song, and they didn't. It was a missed opportunity from both of those powerful women.
Yeah.
So, any more comments on this album?
No, I think that's going to do it. I would actually add, I'm sorry.
I always know you got something to say.
This is the only average that went under a 4 for me. It wasn't by much. It's a 3.94, but the rest of her work all was over a 4.
I'm not going to comment on that right now.
Moving on.
Next album we covered was Norman fucking Rockwell from 2019. This was my runner-up. I gave it 7 5s. My top track was Mariner's Apartment Complex. My bottom track was The Best American Record.
Okay.
Okay.
We had the same top track. This was my top album. I gave it 12 5s. My bottom track was How to Disappear. Something I would add, I said it already, the first album, very accessible.
Yes.
This album is something I would never have greenlit after listening to Lust for Life. After listening to that second half of Lust for Life, which was very acoustic, more toned down, maybe even just blandly orchestral in places. But this album, I don't know what it is, but it's a fucking home run. It's also not accessible. It's a mood. You really have to sit down and experience it. You're not just going to randomly play tracks as much, I don't think.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get someone into this artist, definitely go with Born to Die over Norman fucking Rockwell. And the only other thing I wanted to say about this album, one of the stupidest fucking covers I've ever seen in my life.
her like reaching out, wrapped around that dude on the boat with like comic book style. Yeah.
But again, my top album.
Yeah, and I knew it would be.
And your mom loved it too.
I was going to say, this was Mom's introduction to Lana this week, and she went with Norman fucking Rockwell to start. And I told her to go back and listen to Born to Die, but she loved High by the Beach and Norman fucking Rockwell. Was High by the Beach on this album?
No, High by the Beach was on Honeymoon.
Okay. She loved Norman fucking Rockwell, and she made it a point to tell me. And then I think she's a beach baby. Lana speaks to her.
Yeah, I think that album that you cut, I think that would really speak to her.
Well, damn. Double damn.
I'm making it sound like it's the greatest album ever that we left off, and that's not really my memory or impression of it. So.
You know the people that we're talking about, and the listeners don't. So
my absolute favorite Lana Del Rey song is on that album that we didn't cover.
Is that why you were asking me a bunch of questions like,
no,
interesting?
I didn't know. I didn't know if you listened to all of this religiously and you really had favorites and maybe you didn't like that album. I didn't know what was going on.
I guess I should have picked it because I didn't know anything about it, but I ultimately chose the Honeymoon over it. It came down to Ultra Violence and Honeymoon as the albums that I knew nothing about.
Makes sense.
So, and Honeymoon came out on top. Anyway.
What was your weirdest track?
In My Feelings. Don't even ask me why. I also might be thinking of the In My Feelings challenge.
Oh, I don't know.
We know you're old. You don't get the cool references.
I'm out of the loop.
It's all right. In My Feelings is a song by Drake, and it was a challenge. What was your weirdest track?
I'm just still sitting over here thinking about how much I love that song. I thought it would appeal to you right now, too, because you seem pretty angsty, pissed off a lot of the time, but you get the girl vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I seem angsty? Nice.
When it comes to like work or whatever, you talked about like wanting to kill your coworkers and stuff.
I said I was trying not to kill my coworkers, which I guess they got the vibe because they got rid of me.
Most people may not know that's a joke.
It was a joke.
Worried me a little.
They fired me because
it sounds like I'm recording with a psychopath.
You might be.
My weirdest track was Tomorrow Never Came. Love Hate puts it mildly with regard to my feelings for this song. Beautiful, beautiful instrumentation. His voice is gorgeous as well, but way too much reliance on regurgitating Beatles references throughout the song, and that repetition thing in there. No.
Couldn't do it, huh?
Every time I hear it, I'm like, nope.
Okay. What was your best title?
In My Feelings.
Okay.
What was your best title?
I put Norman fucking Rockwell. This was really, really hard for me because I loved so many of her song titles. They're really good.
Yeah.
They're definitely not song titles that you expect, like the normal, like, I can't even think of it, like, those one-word song titles that everybody uses because they can't think of anything creative. Lana is not that. She is definitely a wordsmith.
Yep.
She has often said she is a writer first and a singer second. And
it shows if you go into listening to music to hear catchy guitar melodies and, wild drums or, just if any of the rest of like a band situation is what appeals to you when you come up to music, you probably won't enjoy Lana much.
If you're into film scores, big productions, big orchestra like work, like scores, you're going to like Lana because that's exactly the level of production that she usually brings to the table.
Yep.
So, what was your worst title by her?
Terrence Loves You. I would have called it Nobody Cares That Terrence Loves You.
Got it. I said Summer Bummer. What I would have used instead is Mumble Bummer because A$AP Rocky was on that track. I did not like that one. I liked the next one, but I did not like Summer Bummer.
I like it. I don't love it. What was after that?
Maybe Cough.
Man, you need to get the fuck out of here with that.
Get something out of your system while
I've been worried all week that I have pneumonia, and here you come with the jokes.
You might. If you die, get 100% of this.
All of that money we don't make. Not a dime.
That's true. Groupie Love.
Groupie Love. My damn. I feel that song.
I liked that song. I liked it better than Summer Bummer. Would you say you liked it better or the same?
Oh, I liked it better. I liked it a lot better. I've had some fans over the years who referred to themselves as groupies. I never do that shit to people. So when I hear something like that's what immediately comes to mind.
You got groupies, man.
Yeah. And there's a particular situation that comes to mind where I never made the jump to lover, with the groupie.
Uh-huh.
So she would call herself a fruitless groupie.
Okay.
That's where that comes from.
Nice.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
We're talking about Mumble Bummer is what I would have called Summer Bummer. What would you say is Lana's strongest element?
This doesn't have a whole lot to do with what she does as a musician or how worthwhile her work is, but her niche is not very competitive, and that is a place you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a lot of people are doing what she's doing, and she's like which is funny because she has a song called this. She's so many different shades of cool, and she's fucking killing it.
Yeah, I would say she's the Nancy Sinatra of modern pop.
Yes, most definitely.
You get hip hop, that orchestral sound, and then a lot of 50s, 60s songwriter vibes. Fantastic.
I said her strongest element is her soulful lounge voice and accompanying scores. I really, on a weakest element, I really, really struggled to find a weakest element for her. But I said on the very rare occasion, her higher pitched vocals. But again, I struggled.
Okay.
What was your weakest element for her?
I said some weak instrumentation. I like the sound, and I know that the lyrics and the vocals are definitely at the front of the stage, but I want a little more in the background sometimes, and that did have a tendency to fall short. And also, some of her lyrics just rang hollow, especially when compared to the bulk of her work. If you are known for having this powerful statement, it's a really good blend of youth culture and some of the way that they talk and the phrasing and with old school
style.
love, poetic. Yeah.
Who do you think she sounds like?
To me, she sounds like the world's gentlest nymphomaniac. You?
Do not make fun of me for my first person. Danny Elfman, with her styling of scoring. Fiona Apple, Melanie Martinez, and Mazzy Star.
I could see Mazzy Star. I'm going to make a recommendation for you.
Okay.
It's a song called Sweepstakes Prize. The artist is Mirah, Mirah.
You going to put this on your recommendation playlist? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll throw it up there.
Or mentions?
I'll throw it up there.
I'll go back and look for it.
I think you dig it.
Okay.
If you dig any of what you just mentioned.
I dig all of what I just
mentioned.
When would you listen to Lana, and how does the music make you feel?
Kind of a combination. When you plan to get high on cough syrup and have emotional sex.
Is that something that happens to you regularly?
Nope.
Okay.
That's just where my mind goes when I'm listening to a lot of the music.
I said, like, I want to be free and flighty, but also haunted. She dealt with alcoholism before the age, when she was younger, and she was in a treatment facility before she was 18. And I think you can hear the struggles that she's gone through in her youth through her music. And I think that she's one of those that, likes to feel free and, not be bound by anything, but also there's a level of sadness with her.
Yeah, she's weighty. There's emotional baggage. And those are my favorite kind of people.
She makes it work for her, though. It's those people that can take their emotional baggage and use it.
Oh, yeah.
That are the real MVPs. What was your first or best experience with Lana?
You may not know this, but I've known about Lana Del Rey since before her debut album came out.
When she was Lizzie?
No, not that far back.
Okay.
It was a few months before Born to Die came out. A coworker sent me a live video of her performing video games. This would have been back in 2011.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are a handful of acoustics from that set she does with like a piano player. Yeah, which what I remember is she performed live somewhere and got all of this hate.
Saturday Night Live, I was going to talk about it.
And one, I don't remember thinking that was bad. Maybe I need to go watch it again.
It definitely was not. I've seen videos of other live performances. This was a bad night in her Lana Del Rey standards. Give her a break.
Yeah, because everything I'd seen before then, she's been exquisite live.
She had never, she was probably nervous. She's made it a point to say the people that really care about her music are not going to care how she has one bad night. She first time on SNL, Born to Die hadn't even been released yet when they had her on. So she was probably like extremely nervous, probably stressed. Give her a break, dude.
Her music too, she is not what a lot of musicians on stage are. She's at the forefront. So you're going to hear a lot more of whatever is being brought to the table.
They probably boosted her mic too.
And I would also say that perfection is not really the aim when what your music is. It's like a raw nerve, a raw exposed nerve anyway. I don't know. I'm one of those people. I don't need the perfect performance, but I have definitely seen a lot of great performance. Anyway, what's your first or best experience?
I said finding her. 1 minute she wasn't there, the next minute she was, and it was everything when she came around, because like I said, she made me feel grown up feelings when it comes to music. That sounds sexual. Don't look at me like that.
It's not sexual. It sounds like you were a child when this happened.
I was younger. I say early 20s. I'm still in my late 20s, but I feel like I've grown up a lot since then. I've gone through more experiences, and her music makes more sense to me now, being older and going through more of those experiences, meeting all sorts of different types of people that obviously she has used in her music and how they make her feel. This is a haunted adult woman that in a way, I think somehow feels like she's trapped in a lot of ways and just wants to be able to express herself and be free of whatever's weighing her down. And I can relate to that in a way. And I'm sure even you can relate to that in a way. Yeah. So
I'll probably rant here in a little bit about just such things.
Okay. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Who would you want her to collaborate with, and what song would you like them to cover?
DMX, I think, would be an interesting collaboration.
Okay.
If she was going to do another cover, which her covers for me have been hit or miss. Some I really love, some I've not liked so much. Mm-hmm. But I want to hear her do Leslie Gore's You Don't Own Me.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. She did, damn it.
The ones that I really like that I know of are Blue Velvet by Bobby Vinton.
That got a lot of attention.
And Chelsea Hotel No. 2 by Leonard Cohen, which is not available on Spotify right now. I can throw it in mentions.
She did a version of Season of the Witch by Donovan. Mm-hmm. She also did Doin' Time.
Sublime.
By Sublime, which that got a lot of attention too. I think that and Blue Velvet got a lot of attention.
She did the Nina Simone track, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. Mm-hmm. That's a cover. My favorite from that song, whatever, is when Lil Wayne sampled it. And Don't Get It at the end of the Carter 3. I don't know if you've heard. I love that. You Don't Know Me would be perfect, though. Thank you.
You know, it was redone for the Suicide Squad soundtrack, right?
No, I did not.
It was. I can't tell you who redid it, but it was redone. But Lana would do a better version.
She did a cover of The Other Woman on the album we did not cover. And the best version of that you're going to hear still comes from Jeff Buckley.
Mm-hmm. I said I would want her to collaborate with Chris Stapleton. Always comes back to Chris Stapleton.
That's okay. That's okay.
They're both gifted lyricists, and I think that they would do really well. Slowed down versions of music is their style. And I think that they would just complement each other. Just a personal opinion. I didn't say a song to cover.
Okay.
Hate to disappoint. Even if I don't like it, I want to see what she does with Chris Stapleton.
I'm really curious to see if 5 years down the road, if you're still stuck on the country artist, which is completely unexpected, or if you're going to be like me and you move in those
waves.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean,
I couldn't stop listening to oldies. That's all I listened to for 3 weeks.
Stapleton hit me so hard. I wasn't expecting it. I have since slowed my roll and chilled out a little bit on the Chris Stapleton front. I think that now that I've been exposed to Chris Stapleton, I'm finding other artists that I think he would work well with, which I didn't say Lana, but listening to her stuff, it makes sense to me. She's also never collaborated with a country artist, and she can be universal. She's done the rap. She's done, Stevie Nicks and
Norman fucking Rockwell would drive that home. I think that would work. I think a Stapleton collaboration would work for sure.
Yeah, at least enough to intrigue me.
Yeah,
and that's all that it really needs to do is intrigue me. And they're both hot right now.
That's true.
They're both relevant. It would sell itself, even if it's not that good. I think out of curiosity, people would listen anyway.
And she is literally hot.
She is. I was waiting how long it was going to say. What did you think about the Instagram, the Bad Bitch Alert photo?
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks. I saw you liked it. Anyway.
She's got legs. She's got great eyes.
She knows how to move them?
I have no idea.
A subtle ZZ Top song reference.
She's also one of my favorite gifs of all time is from the Love video where she winks and does the... Oh, yeah.
Oh, she gets you that way. I love her hair.
It's like Blue with his, the boobs coming out of the shirt. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. That's the gif that cuts off right before the boobs come out of the shirt.
Yes.
That infuriates him so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love her hair.
Yeah, she's got nice hair.
She's got great hair. Anyway, she's got a whole look about her that I just love. Anyway, what makes Lana seem unique to you?
She marries an oldie sound with modern style.
That's exactly her. I said her style of vocals and musical stylings, haunting big production.
Boo.
You know I like some spooky stuff.
It is spooky season right now.
Yes, it is. How could this artist be most successful in the future?
Avoid overly slow unless you have killer hooks. So there's something worth pointing out, which is that some of my favorite songs by her, like Salvatore or the one on the album we've not yet covered, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Yep.
Some of my favorite songs by her are extremely slow, but they've got phenomenal hooks. And some of the stuff that I rated low is because it didn't go much of anywhere. It's like riding a roller coaster that, I don't want to be on the Judge Roy Scream. I want to be on the fucking Titan. Level. You know what I mean? Yes.
You want a one level roller coaster. You just need to get on the teacups and shut the fuck up or something. So.
And it was like that. Teacups you couldn't spin sometimes for me.
You get the broken one. Yikes.
Man.
Anyway, we need to make a note to put Ultraviolence in the specials jar.
Already have.
All right.
I take care of that after we draw every week.
Yay. The way that I said Lana could be most successful in the future, in all caps with an exclamation point, keep making music.
Hello.
Keep doing what you do, because, girl, you're doing it well. Who would you recommend this artist to, and why?
People who think emotion and sex are to be shamed, because fuck that mindset into oblivion.
I said anyone. There you go.
All right.
Do you have any more optional discussion topics?
She's released lots of singles only, stuff that hasn't been on albums. You can hear most of them on Spotify, and a lot of them are really good. Think like Young and Beautiful.
From the Great Gatsby soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't Call Me Angel, which was for the new Charlie's Angels that just came out. She collaborated with Ariana Grande and Miley Cyrus. Not my favorite, but hey, it's something.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that there's an artist who does these great albums and then still takes the time to show up on soundtracks the way you might have been used to 80s, early 90s artists doing that doesn't really happen as much anymore.
She also was featured on the Maleficent soundtrack. She did Once Upon a Dream. That is great. But then again, I'm a Disney nerd.
Yeah.
So
and this list could get long if we kept going. That's what I'm saying. It's a really cool thing. The other thing is her true debut album is not on Spotify, and I've not actually heard it.
I haven't either.
I thought about trying to YouTube it or something and seeing if it's there, but I've not done that.
She actually had 2 albums under Lana Del Rey. One of them was Lost. I say that with quotes.
Okay.
And then I think another one, the one that you're talking about, it was released, but it's really, really difficult to find.
It's that I'm Lizzie Grant or whatever. I don't know the title.
She went by a lot of different names. She switched it up ever so often. The most recent to her, Lana Del Rey, which she chose Lana Del Rey because she thought it was exotic. It sounded exotic. She wasn't wrong, but she did have several albums under the moniker Lizzie Grant right before Lana Del Rey.
I know now what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
This ties into last week, Body Electric.
Yes.
I did some digging.
Mm-hmm.
Her Body Electric has roots in the Walt Whitman poem, and the Rush track, The Body Electric, was inspired by a Twilight Zone episode, and that episode also had
Walt Whitman inspiration.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So Walt now Whitman. We know. And I would never have thought Walt Whitman, but
the more you know.
Yeah. I guess I should dig a little deeper.
Princess and the Frog reference.
That's all I have to say about Lana or Anal. Who won this week for you?
Oh, boy.
I love that you look like you don't know.
I know, but I want to give exact numbers. Lana at a 3.9. Limp Bizkit fell short at 3.4. What about you?
I go by 5s. So Lana took it.
Mm-hmm.
She had 41 5s for me.
Ooh.
And Bizkit actually had 35. So it was fairly close. And I think if it hadn't been for some of results may vary, I don't know. I get why Borland was away for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Still really love both of these artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I had fun this week.
I did too.
I was really surprised going back and listening to Limp Bizkit that I enjoyed it still as much as I used to.
Mm.
I didn't really feel like any of it had faded away for me, and actually getting to sit down and listen to Gold Cobra and discover that Joseph was right. It's a good album.
Yeah.
So eat my words a little bit there, but I really enjoyed this week.
I did too. It was I would say easy listening week, but anything with Limp Bizkit isn't necessarily easy listening.
Man.
It's not their shtick. But it was easy to get through these artists, and I was surprised that they were as close as they actually were.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get on to the
second half of our list.
Yep.
Which are songs that others have dedicated to us.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and start.
Boom.
I'm going to go ahead and start.
Can I just say, I'm not worried about the table touching or anything this week. Mm-hmm. I'm already thinking I'm going to be pissed off the whole time I'm editing this show.
Why?
Because my voice will not be anywhere near as deep as it was the previous week. Because I'm not as sick anymore. Yeah. Continue.
My next choice for our top 10 songs that others have dedicated to you was I'll Be There by the Jackson 5. This was dedicated to me from my sister, Alyssa. We have gone through lots of trials and tribulations, especially within the past year. A lot of things have been changing for her, and she's been growing more as a person. And I have, she says that I've consistently been there through it all, which has ultimately made our relationship 10 times stronger. So she dedicates this song to me, and I want to say I am very proud of the person that she's becoming. Your next pick.
Next up for me is It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. Been meaning to talk about this for a while, but it was Codes who got to experience me go full Shane. After losing weight, there had always been a sizable number of ladies who flirted with me on the regular, and after all that mostly self-induced heartache, I decided to go with the flow. A lot of drama came with this territory, but it was also fun while it lasted. The reason this song's here is because one of the girls I used to hook up with was a screamer, and Codes clowned me with those "My Dick Runs Deep" lyrics. I remember him knocking on my door a time or two in the middle of the night to ask for condoms and whatnot. He'd say shit like, "Yeah, we kind of knew you were awake. Either that or she killed you and's getting right with God." What he doesn't know is that his habit of telling me he loved me as a goodbye got me into trouble more than once. Apparently, it wasn't okay that I tell my friend I love him, but wouldn't so easily offer the sentiment to my more intimate company. While you can already find 3 songs that make me think of Codes on an episode of the Semi-Friendly podcast, I'll add that What's Up by the 4 Non Blondes should be on that list. I was actually planning on making him a whole CD of material after he said Glover's Redbone made him think of me, but that's another of a million projects I just never completed.
Wow. My next pick.
TMI? What?
No, I'll get to it in a minute. It's about Redbone. My next pick.
Stay woke.
Yeah. It's a great song. Sorry.
Continue.
Okay. This was dedicated to me by Toby, not our cousin Toby, my semi-friendly brother-in-law Toby.
You can't even use the last initial either because it's both B. Yeah.
I'm going to just call him Buscus. Tobuscus. That's what I call him anyway.
I call him Tobes.
Tobes. All right. Tobes and Buscus. Is Misery Business by Paramore. Apparently, I sang this in karaoke, and it is one of the top 2 songs that I've ever sang in karaoke that he thoroughly enjoyed and was one of his favorites. So, the other of which being Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar, which is a staple of mine. I have to sing it in karaoke, not because I want to, because people ask for it.
I almost said I was surprised by the liking of the Paramore track, but Tobes is full of surprises in my experience.
I didn't even know that he knew what that was, but apparently he did, and he recognized it and enjoyed it. So Misery Business by Paramore, Toby says, always reminds him of me.
Coolly cool.
Which is funny because they won't even perform that song anymore now.
Really?
Lead singer thinks it's sexist. Either that or she'll change the lyrics.
Gotcha. Walking on those eggshells. Mm-hmm. Here's someone who's not going to walk on those eggshells. Next pick is You Look So Good in Love by George Strait. I once dated another Megan, more commonly referred to as Short Megan. This was a bowling alley regular who drunkenly fell all over me in the middle of Walmart one night while I was actually with Amy shopping for groceries. Our entanglement didn't last very long, though I'd correct the record here by saying we were definitely involved for more than a week. When previously claiming things lasted only a week, I meant in the official we're together capacity. Years later, she told me this song made her think of me. What I'd offer in return is Copeland's song Lay Here, because it reminds me of what time we did spend together. There's a reason that short frame of experience stands out. It was surreal, it was warm, and as an aside, I'll also add that I think our friend Ryan was wrong when he said she's not the kind of girl you keep around. Megan and I have some of the same demons, but we still deserve love. So please stop saying shit like that to people.
All right.
Your next pick.
Okay, so this next dedication came from Blue. It came down to 2 songs, one of which was Redbone by Childish Gambino.
Mm-hmm.
I ultimately went with the other one because we covered her this week. It is Mariner's Apartment Complex by Lana Del Rey. Blue says that he always thinks of me and only thinks of me when listening to this song. He's a man of few words and he wouldn't get into necessarily why. Might have had something to do with there was a period of time where my go-to shower music was Lana Del Rey. So, but...
Flipped and pancakes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm ruining your moment.
Mariner's Apartment Complex. It's a great song. It was both of our favorites off that album. And I would hope that the lyrics behind the song is what really gave Blue reasoning for the dedication. But I'd never know.
No.
And that's okay.
Man of mystery.
Man of mystery. My man of mystery. What's your next pick?
My next pick is Say You Love Me by Jessie Ware. This one was sent to me by one of those unrequited loves I've been lucky enough to have. The hard fact of my life is this constant struggle to pretend I belong to one person when my heart wants so much more than that bit of confined space. The person who introduced me to this song is a casualty of a fought-for staying power that's present in my love life. She recently wrote me with a bit of silly questioning of her importance to me, as though I spent years conversing with her almost daily, and it could somehow have meant nothing to me. I've chosen a response of Maria Mina's Where Were You? Because I want it understood that these sorts of things are torturous. They haunt me. She haunts me. Monogamy is a mask I hate wearing, but I wear it for the sake of stability. No one owns all of my heart, but this person definitely owns a piece which she'll probably never be able to do anything with. Humans are silly that way, and I'm nothing if not human.
Okay.
Was that too much?
No. The funny thing is I knew you always felt that way from long conversations past. I knew that. My next pick was dedicated to me by Gage, which is another nephew, and I appreciate his choice because it's a Panic song. It's This Is Gospel by Panic at the Disco. He says this song reminds him of me. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because I put their whole discography on his MP3 player.
I was going to say, you'll have to ask him.
That I gave both of my oldest nephews. But anyway, This Is Gospel by Panic at the Disco.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that he is a thoughtful one, because
very, very much so.
People of that age would tend to pick something that is very self-centered or self-serving, an artist that they really like, but here's a song, that kind of brings you to mind. No, he didn't go that route at all. I can dig it.
He's a very, very thoughtful one. He often surprises me with how in touch he is with feelings and emotions that should be way out of his age capacity at this point. And it's something that is extremely refreshing. And every day that he gets older, the more I realize I'm gaining a friend. I may be losing this kid, but it's well worth it because I'm gaining one of the best possible friends I could ever have. So anyway, didn't mean to get deep on that one.
You're good. Thanks,
Gage. What's your next pick?
I want to clarify before I get started here that I love my wife.
Yes, we know you love your wife.
Okay.
I know what's up. But I mean, yeah, probably clarify that you love your wife to the listeners that don't personally know you and your personal beliefs on things.
I know there are people in the world who really love being single, and I was definitely one of those people. I loved the freedom and everything else that comes along with it. And so to have given that up must be a very, very special person. And
I will say, this man loves his wife so much, it almost makes you sick. because the amount of thoughtfulness that he does for this woman. And I mean, he puts together, like for their wedding, songs for her and the journey that he went through emotionally through song with his wife to get to that wedding day and where they were in their lives. He's an extremely thoughtful husband. Now, I'm not saying he's perfect, but there's no doubt in my mind this man adores his wife.
It takes a lot of patience to make any relationship work. I think really what it comes down to is hard-headedness. Two people have to be really hard-headed about one another to continue to make it work.
The running joke is Blue and Megan are a lot alike, and me and you are a lot alike. And maybe that's the reason why two different sides of the coin work.
Yeah, maybe. You just, sometimes I think about that maybe a lot of marriages end because you just had people that woke up with no fucks left to give, and that's all there was to it.
Maybe.
One of you couldn't hold up everything that day. And
it's don't let anybody tell you that a good relationship and one that's worth having isn't worth the work you put into it.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. If you want it to work, you have to be willing to sacrifice and make it work. Granted.
Granite countertops, y'all.
There are relationships you can love and love and love this person with your whole heart, and you're just toxic for each other. Shane, I know, has had probably way more experience in this realm of loving someone with his whole heart, and it just
more time. That's all it is. Experience is really, it's overvalued. You can talk about people who've gone out and had sex with all these different people or been in all these different relationships. What that says to me most is not you've got a lot of experience. A lot of it says you don't have staying power, and there's nothing wrong with that. Unless someone's beating you or abusive towards you or just does not support your notion of happiness, nobody should knock you for wanting to stay with that person.
But time being something that is completely out of your control, the timing was off. That doesn't mean that you love this person any less. Things happen differently. Shit happens. And if absolutely your relationship, my relationship, any relationship worth having, it's going to be work. Nothing worth having is going to come easy, and don't let anybody tell you that if you go through struggles, it's not worth being in the relationship with this person. A relationship is a struggle.
Yeah, that's always your call to make.
What's your next pick?
My next pick. Sorry for getting out there again. My next pick is "Come Pick Me Up" by Ryan Adams. This one was on a dedication disc given to me by one of my poetry muses. She told me early on that she wanted to inspire more of the erotic pieces I sometimes write, and for a few years, she did just that. When you're dealing in the realm of make-believe, things can get awkward and volatile in a hurry, and while that makes for some rather original pieces of poetry, it left me feeling far too disconnected from someone who I started out thinking of as a great friend. We no longer speak, and it's Damien Rice's The Professor and La Fidance, which consistently bring her to mind for me. I hate that fact, but it is what it is.
And my last pick comes from a person very important to me. It is my best friend Samantha, also my sister-in-law, Blue sister. I was very surprised by her choice because it came down to this or literally anything DMX is what she said.
Gotta love a good Samantha.
Her choice, which was very emotional, in my opinion, was It Only Takes a Moment by Jerry Herman from the Hello Dolly soundtrack. It also was featured in Wall-E, and she was feeling rather emotional that day. But that's okay, because we often joke about when was the moment that we knew we were going to be best friends.
Yeah.
We still, to this day, cannot pinpoint when it happened, but whatever it was, whenever it was, it only took a moment.
So it was Step Brothers experience, or was it like
Okay. Exactly that.
I didn't know if it was emotional or what,
Maybe it was a sequence of moments, but whatever it did, it was like that, and we knew, so.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Oh,
what's your next pick?
My last pick is Someone Like You by Safety Suit. Offered up to me by one of the greatest humans alive at the time of this recording, this track is among my greatest sources of comfort. I still have trouble believing that someone I held in such high regard once had me in mind as her equal. I'll go to my grave happy that she was in my life and wishing I hadn't made our friendship so difficult to maintain. I'm sorry for some of the things I've said or ways I've acted when at my lowest. Suffice it to say that I'm still grateful to have you in my corner. My love for you has been and will remain unconditional. And since the world would obviously have to end to see us back at one another's sides, I find it fitting that the song Stay With Me by Thrice is where I go most often to find that long-lost dream of you and I finding renewed footing. I thank the universe for your existence every single day, Killer. So don't give up on me yet.
Aww.
Aw, thank you, Raven.
You're welcome. Are you ready to draw for next week?
Yeah.
So tell the people that we're only going to be drawing from the listener jam jar today, because who are we covering next week for your choice?
Third Eye Blind.
Yeah. So let's
Are
see.
you excited about that
Not at all. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you know much Third Eye Blind?
I do. Well, I do, listening to it growing up and then from you.
Okay.
So, but I am very excited to explore just why you love them so much, because I know you do. And the person.
I've been nervous about this all week. She's laughing.
Oh my God.
Come on now.
The band that will be going up against Third Eye Blind next week is the Beatles.
Well, there's a fight.
And it was recommended by Lena. So thank you, Lena, for your recommendation.
Yes. Thank you very much. I think her daughter may have actually had a hand in some of the recommendations. I don't remember the wording off the top of my head, but
I think I saw that comment. Thank you, Lena's daughter. I hear that you do listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you for being a listener, and this is your official shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next week we're going to be covering Third Eye Blind versus the Beatles.
Fuck it, man. Okay.
And
I'm going to let you choose the albums. I'll go ahead and say it.
Yes.
For the Beatles.
Got it. Yeah, because I'm not doing Third Eye Blind. Wow. See, this is the Prince and Rush situation. If Third Eye Blind doesn't make it through, you're going to be pissed. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to try not to hit my mic in the process. You're going to be pissed.
I'm not worried. Let me say that.
Okay.
You're talking about one of my favorite musical artists of all time.
But you also enjoy a lot of the Beatles.
I appreciate the Beatles. We'll see how it goes, because I've not in a long time sat down and listened to Beatles albums.
Okay.
So I already have a feeling about exactly what's going to happen next week for both of us. We'll see.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
There is nothing else that I want to talk about. I'm not religious, but I'll say a prayer for you this next week.
I got nothing to say. I'm not religious.
I'm not religious, but
where
I'll
did
say a
that
prayer.
come from? All right. So I want to go ahead and ask listeners, if you're on YouTube listening, please like our videos. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you listen on Spotify or you're on Apple iTunes, head over to iTunes, look us up, give us a review, let us know what you think.
Also, if you give a damn about the podcast, which I hope you do if you're listening, share it with your friends. Yeah. If they're friends, they'll appreciate it. If not, well, you did your best.
Yeah. Not everyone's going to want to sit and listen to people ramble about music, but, it's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's going to do it for this week. Come find us online. Let us know what you want to hear next, because it's what you choose to share that ultimately makes your melody unforgettable. You can email us at rated_radio@yahoo.com. And with that, we're gone again. Until next time.
Peace.
The Beatles and Third Eye Blind.